Good morning, everyone. In the last session for data warehousing and data mining, we saw about the typical OLAP operations. Which were the OLAP operations that we learned? Roll-up operation, drill down operation, slice and dice operation, and rotate operation. What is roll-up operation? Roll-up operation is similar to summarization. Roll-up operation can be performed by climbing up the concept hierarchy or by dimensionality reduction. What do you mean by climbing up the concept hierarchy? Assume that there is a dimension time which I have defined in my data warehouse. Okay, now I have defined the time dimension in terms of quarters. The concept hierarchy for time can be like day, month, quarters, and year. Now that I have defined time in quarters, if suppose I'm trying to make my data more summarized by defining it in terms of years, that becomes a roll-up operation. Similarly, if suppose I'm having 3 dimensions for my data warehouse, and if I remove one of those dimensions, that becomes a roll-up operation. The second OLAP operation that we learned was drill down operation. Drill down operation is just the reverse of roll-up operation, wherein we will try to make the data warehouse more detailed. Drill down operation can be done by climbing down the concept hierarchy or by adding new dimension. Okay, in the previous example, if suppose time is a dimension, I have defined data in terms of quarters. If suppose I'm defining it in terms of months, and that means I'm making the data more detailed. That's an example of drill down operation. Correct? Now we can do drill down operation also by adding a new dimension. We have seen detailed example with figures in the last session. Now coming to slice and dice operation, it is basically a selection and projection operation. We will be selecting a part of the existing data warehouse. If suppose the selection is being done based on a single dimension, that operation is called as slice operation. And when we do the selection based on 2 or more dimensions, that operation is called the dice operation. We have seen in detail the example for both slice and dice operation. The next operation is the rotate or pivot operation. It is just a visualization operation wherein we will try to rotate the axes and visualize the data in a different way. Okay, so these were the typical OLAP operations. With this, let us go to today's session. So today we are going to see about data warehouse design and usage. Now I have a few questions here. We'll be answering all these questions once we finish this session. So which are the questions? What goes into a data warehouse design? How are data warehouses used? And the third question is, how does data warehouses or OLAP relate to data mining? Are they the same? Okay, so these are the 3 basic questions which we need to answer once we have a very good idea about the data warehouses. So I hope after this session, we all will be able to answer these 3 questions. Design of data warehouse, a business analysis framework. What business analysts gain from having a separate data warehouse? I want you all to think about it for a minute. What does a business analyst gain from having a separate data warehouse, separate from the operational databases. We all know that data warehouses are maintained physically separate from the operational databases. So what is the advantage of it, or what gain does a business analyst get out of it? So the first point here is he will have a competitive advantage over his peers. How does he get a competitive advantage? You all know that in the data warehouse, we have only some relevant data which is needed for the organization's decision-making process. If a particular enterprise or an organization want to make critical decision, okay, then that organization can construct a data warehouse containing only those relevant data, right? So if suppose you are having a data warehouse, it will be an added advantage over your peers. It will be a competitive advantage by having relevant data to make critical judgments on performance. In the first class itself, I had told about this. If suppose our college, we are having multiple heterogeneous databases. Few databases will store staff information, few of them will store student information. Assume that there are separate databases which store student information belonging to separate batches. Now, if I want to analyze and come to a conclusion regarding the influence of curriculum on placements and results, in that case, instead of querying individual databases, I can construct a data warehouse containing only the relevant data. The individual student databases will have very detailed data. Student USN, each individual student USN, name, address, fees, the electives the student has taken, the courses the student has gone through, the result, each semester result, all these things will be stored in detail in the student databases, operational databases. But from the operational database, we will be taking only relevant data and storing it in the data warehouse such that I can analyze the influence of a particular curriculum on placement and result. Correct? So in that case, if I'm having a separate database, my decision-making process becomes easier, right? So I will have a better advantage or a competitive advantage over my peers. That is the first point. Now, what is the second point? It helps to enhance business productivity. What do you mean by that? So here, when we are having a data warehouse, we can quickly and efficiently gather information related to an organization. Okay, we have learned about enterprise data warehouses and data marts. We all know the difference. Enterprise data warehouse will store the information spanning the entire organization. Data mart store information specific to a particular department, right? So when we are having an enterprise data warehouse, we will have all the information regarding the organization in a summarized central store. Okay, so this can help us to improve the business productivity. Now the third point here is customer relationship management. You would have seen recommendation systems, right? So whenever I'm doing some online shopping, if suppose I have bought one brand of item, some watch I have brought, okay, next time when I try to surf, okay, I will be shown some recommendation of the similar items. That is recommendation system. That is to help improve the customer relationship, correct? So this building a data warehouse and doing data mining, sentiment analysis and all helps in building customer relationship. Another example, let me tell you. If suppose I have watched a movie and I have written review about it, if I'm having a sentiment analysis system, the sentiment analysis system will read my review, analyze the sentiment inside that review, whether I'm having a positive sentiment towards the movie or a negative sentiment towards the movie, it will be analyzing. And the theater management can see multiple user reviews and decide on which is the next movie they are going to show. Correct? So all this helps in improving customer relationship. Now the next point is cost reduction. So how to do cost reduction? By tracking trends, patterns and exceptions over long period of time, you can perform cost reduction. Let me tell you one example. Currently, it is the world is facing a very crisis situation, right? We are all under we are all undergoing the threats of a pandemic, right? So when we see people would have reduced buying a new cloth or new shoes or new materials and all, but more more they would be buying, they would be purchasing masks, sanitizers, etc. So seeing to the trends and patterns of buying and selling, you can make the production accordingly. Okay, I can reduce the production of new patterns of dresses or new shoes, new brands of watches. I can reduce that, and I can improve the production of other material which is in trend now. Okay, so that's how I can do cost reduction. Another example, if we take dress material itself, during winter we'll be wearing different kinds of cloth, during summer we'll be choosing some other kind of cloth, right? So by analyzing the pattern of purchase during each season of an year, okay, of a year, I can do my production accordingly, and I can reduce the production of some item which will not be in demand. That's how I can do cost reduction. So these are all advantage or benefit of maintaining a separate data warehouse, because data mining can be carried out if I am having a data warehouse, right? Data mining can be easily carried out if I'm having a foundation data warehouse. Data mining on the operational databases is difficult. Okay, so which are the 4 points, the main 4 points which I have mentioned? First is competitive advantage by having relevant data stored to make critical judgments about the performance. Now the second point is enhanced business productivity by quickly and efficiently gathering information related to a particular organization. The third point is customer relationship management. By understanding the sentiments of the customer, emotions of the customer, how the customer behave, you can analyze that from the data present in the data warehouse. You can perform an analysis operation using data mining tasks and improve customer relationship. Okay. Then fourth point is cost reduction. By seeing to the pattern of buying, selling, or not only buying, selling, if you consider an organization like an educational institution, you can see the trend of the admissions. Okay, what all the students or what all the parents are searching for, what all features of the course a parent or a student is searching for. Based on that, you can improve your curriculum, you can set up your organization in such a way that more students join it, right? So by tracking the trends and patterns over a long period of time, you can do cost reduction as well. Whatever is not relevant, you can remove it. Whatever is relevant, you can keep it. Okay, so these are all the advantages of maintaining a separate data warehouse from a business point of view. Okay, coming to the next. Basically, there are 4 views for the design of a data warehouse. So this views are all for the same data warehouse. It's from the different perceptions. Okay, different perspectives. 4 views. Which are the 4 views? First is the top-down view. Next is the data source view. Third is the data warehouse view. And fourth is the business query view. We will see each in detail. First one is top-down view. What is top-down view? Top-down view allows selection of relevant information necessary for the data warehouse, matching current and future needs. Okay, so this top-down view is from the point of view of a decision maker or a business analyst. Okay, the business analyst or the decision maker will be more interested to select the information which are relevant. Okay, relevant to the current and future need. So top-down view is the perspective from the business analyst or the decision maker side. Now coming to the next, that is the data source view. So what is data source view? Data source view exposes the information being captured, stored, and managed by operational system. So from the point of view of the data source, we will be building the data warehouse by extracting the data from various data sources, right? So it exposes the information which are extracted from these data sources. That is data source view. Now coming to the next view, which is the data warehouse view. As you all know, data warehouse is defined by dimensions and facts, right? It consists of fact tables and dimension tables. You all know what are dimension. If suppose you are having a particular warehouse, how do you define the record? That is dimension. If suppose you are having a sales data warehouse, item, time, location, branch, all these can be dimensions, right? Now coming to fact. The fact are numerical measures which relates the dimension, right? So from the point of view of the data warehouse view, from that perspective, if we see, we have to give importance to facts and dimension. What information is stored in the data warehouse, whether it's a sum, whether it's a count, whether it's a history, the time the data originated, whether it is the date of origin, all these things comes under the data warehouse view. Okay, and the fourth view is the business query view. What is business query view? Business query view sees the perspectives of data in the warehouse from the view of the end user. Okay, what end user expects from the view of the end user, how it should be. That is business query view. So whenever you're building a data warehouse, you have to think from all these perspectives. Okay, which are the perspective? As far as the decision maker or business analyst is concerned, he will be more giving importance to the information needed or which satisfies the current and future need. That will be his emphasis point. The business analyst or decision maker will be giving emphasis for the current and future needs. Okay, that is the first one. The second one is in the data source, what all data are available in the operational databases, in the existing file, what all data are available. That is data source view. Okay. Now the third thing which we need to consider is in the data warehouse, which all data can be put. And how do I define the data? On what dimension do I define the data? On what fact do I connect the dimension? Right? So that comes under the data warehouse view. And the fourth thing is, how does the end user view the system? Okay. So from all these four perspectives, we have to think and then build the data warehouse. Correct? Now coming to the next, the data warehouse design process. So here I have given a typical brief data warehouse design process. The first step that we follow is choosing a business process to model. Correct? What process we are going to model. Okay, so it can be orders, it can be invoices, it can be sales, it can be results. Correct? So depending on a particular data warehouse, you have to choose the business process. Now we all know there is enterprise data warehouse and data mart. So the business process which we choose, if suppose it is organizational, if it is spanning the entire organization, then we are going to build the enterprise data warehouse. When the business process that we choose is restricted to a particular department, then that means we are going to build a data mart. So the first thing is what we do is we will choose the business process that we need to model. The second thing is choose the grain. What is grain? Atomic level of data to be represented in the fact table. For example, if suppose you are building a data warehouse for a bank, individual transaction that is happening in the bank can be a grain. Okay, to what level of summarization we are going to represent the data? The most lowest level of summarization or the atomic level of data will be represented, will be the grain, right? So the second point that we should do is we have to choose the grain, or we have to understand the level of summarization, whether it is individual transaction, or whether it's a consolidated data in quarters, or whether it's a consolidated data in years. Okay, so you have to choose the grain or the level of summarization, or the least atomic level of data to be represented in the fact table. Correct? It can be a daily snapshot, it can be a monthly snapshot, it can be a quarterly snapshot, it can be a yearly snapshot, or anything. Okay, so you have to choose the level of summarization. That is the second point. Now the third thing is you have to choose the dimension that will apply to each fact table record. Okay, considering each fact, the dimensions are related using the facts, right? So you have to choose the dimension. As I told, if suppose I'm having a sales data warehouse, I may choose the dimension as product, time, sales, year, etc. Correct? So you have to choose the dimension applicable to your data warehouse. The fourth point is choose the numerical measure that relates the dimension. Once you choose the dimension, you have to select the numerical measures that relates the dimension. Okay, when you consider the sales data warehouse, the total sales amount which relates product, branch, location, okay, that can be a fact. So these are the 4 steps. What is the first step? Choose the business process which we need to model. If the business process is organizational, spanning the entire organization, that means we are going to build the enterprise data warehouse. If suppose a business process is restricted to a department, that means we are going to build a data mart. Correct? Now the second step is choosing the grade or the atomic level of data which will be represented in the data warehouse, the level of summarization. The third point is we'll be choosing the dimension. Once we have chosen the grain, you have to define the dimension that describe the data. Now, fourth thing is you have to select the fact that connect these dimensions. Okay, so this is data warehouse design process. Now, next is data warehouse usage. Okay, now what is information processing, what is analytical processing, and what is data mining? Are they the same? If not, how they are related? So we'll see that. First is information processing. What is information processing? Information processing is just deriving the useful information. Suppose I throw a query to my data warehouse, I get some result, that becomes information processing. It's just extracting the result and showing it in the form of a chart or a table. Correct? That is information processing. Come to analytical processing. What is the difference between information processing and analytical processing? Analytical processing involves analysis. Okay, so we will be doing a multi-dimensional data analysis of the data warehouse data. Okay, you have learned few OLAP operations like slice and dice, drill down, roll up, rotate, etc. All these operations, what we are trying to do, we are trying to do a multi-dimensional data analysis. Either we are trying to summarize the data, or we are trying to select some part of the data, or we are going to view in a different perspective, right? So all these comes under analytical processing. Now, what is the difference between information processing and analytical processing? Information processing means from the data warehouse, just read the data, get the data, find the useful information. That's it. It's as simple as that. Now, coming to analytical processing, it's just one more step ahead. We will do data analysis over there by performing some of the OLAP operation. Now, coming to the third, data mining. Is OLAP and data mining the same? OLAP and data mining are not same. Okay, data mining is one step ahead of OLAP. In case of OLAP, we are just doing a multi-dimensional data analysis. But in case of data mining, we are trying to extract some patterns, or we are going to extract some trends. We are going to perform some classification. We are going to do some predictions, okay, from the data which I have in the data warehouse. Whereas in analytical processing, it's just a summarization or an aggregation tool. We'll keep or we'll organize the data in such a way that on top of the data mining tasks can be performed. So analytical processing serves as a foundation for data mining. Clear? So information processing comes at the lowest level, just getting the information which is stored in the data warehouse using queries and representing it in the form of a table or a chart or a graph. Correct? Next level comes the analytical processing. Analytical processing is like an aggregation tool. We will aggregate the data based on the dimension and facts at different levels of granularity or different levels of abstractions. Correct? Using the various OLAP operations like slice and dice, drill down, pivot operation. All those operations will be applied and we'll make the data to a summarized form as desired by us. Okay. Now this summarized form of the data or this particular result which we have got by doing analytical processing can be utilized for performing the data mining task. So data mining task comes one more step ahead. In case of data mining, we are trying to discover knowledge. We are trying to discover hidden patterns. We are trying to discover hidden trends. We are trying to classify the data. We are trying to predict something. Okay. So data mining comes one step ahead of analytical processing, or in other words, we can tell analytical processing can serve as a foundation for data mining. So analytical processing and data mining are not the same. Information processing, analytical processing and data mining are not the same. It comes at different levels. Okay, but using the data warehouse, we can do information processing as well as analytical processing as well as data mining. Okay, so we will tell that once we have built the data warehouse, okay, as we do keep doing operations, the data warehouse gets more refined. Okay, so older a data warehouse, it is better to do data mining on such data warehouses. Okay, because why? Because it is more refined. Okay, so this is about information processing, analytical processing and data mining. Coming to the next, we are going to learn a term called online analytical mining or OLAM. We have learned OLTP and OLAP system. What is OLTP systems? Online transaction processing system. That is done using operational databases. Day-to-day operations performed on the operational databases constitute OLTP. Now, what is OLAP? Online analytical processing systems. So there comes the use of data warehouse. On the data warehouse, we will be organizing the data in such a way that it's in a summarized, aggregated form, which can be used for data mining in the future. So that is OLAP system. In the OLAP system, you will be performing only data analysis. Correct? Now, what is OLAM system? OLAM is online analytical mining. So OLAM is nothing but combining OLAP, that is analytical processing, plus data mining. Correct? So online analytical mining or OLAM combines analytical processing and data mining. From the word itself, you can understand online analytical mining. So it combines analytical processing plus data mining. Okay, so why we are having such a concept, online analytical mining? So in the last slide itself, I was telling analytical processing serves as a foundation for data mining. Analytical processing serves as a foundation for data mining. It provides the data in a desired format so that the patterns and trends can be extracted, so that classification can be performed, so that prediction can be made. So you are organizing the data to make the data mining task simpler. Correct? So why we are telling online analytical mining? Because if we combine data mining and analytical processing, it becomes more easier. Why? Why? Because we are having high quality of data in the data warehouse. Already the data in the data warehouse is integrated, cleaned, pre-processed, aggregated data. So directly we can use that data for data mining. Okay, so that's why this concept of OLAM is developed by combining analytical processing and mining. The second reason is available information processing structures surrounding the data warehouses. So already when we are building the data warehouses, we would have used many information processing techniques, which we will be having already. All those can be utilized in case of for data mining as well. Okay. Now the third point is OLAP based exploratory data analysis. Okay. Again, we have learned about drilling down, rolling up, dicing, pivoting, slicing, etc. All these operations can be utilized even for mining knowledge. Correct? Now the fourth point is online selection of data mining function. So integration and swapping of multiple mining functions and algorithms can be easily done if we combine online analytical processing and data mining. So that's why we have introduced a concept. A new concept is introduced, that is OLAP, which is different from OLAP or OLTP. Basically, it combines analytical processing and data mining. Okay. So in today's class, what all we have learned? We have learned about a business analysis framework. What is the gain for a business analyst by maintaining a separate data warehouse? He will be having a competitive advantage over his peers. He can enhance business productivity, better customer relationship management, and better cost reduction. Okay. Then we saw about the 4 different views of the same data warehouse. Whenever we are designing the data warehouse, we have to think in all those 4 perspectives. Which are the 4 perspectives? Top-down view, which sees from business analyst side. What is the current need? What is the future need? So that is top-down view. Then data source view, from the point of view of the data source. What all data are available? Okay, what all data can be captured? That is data source view. Then we saw about data warehouse view. That is when building the data warehouse, you should be defining dimensions and facts, correct? So from that point of view also we have to think. Now from the business query view means from the point of view of the end user also we have to think. Okay. Then we saw about the data warehouse design process, 4 steps. Choose the business process. If it is organizational, build the enterprise warehouse. If it's departmental, build the data mart. The second step is choose the grain or the level of summarization, atomic level of data which need to be represented. To what level of summarization you want to represent the data. Okay, so that is decided. Next is the dimensions are decided, and finally the numerical measures or fact that relates the dimensions are decided. Okay, then usage of data warehouses. So data warehouse mainly used for information processing, analytical processing, and data mining. All these 3 concepts are different. Information processing is just direct extraction of some information. What is analytical processing? Further data analysis is performed over there using the help of OLAP operations. Now what is data mining? Mining the interesting patterns or hidden patterns, doing classification, doing prediction, all those are data mining or data mining tasks. So basically analytical processing serves as a foundation for data mining. Okay, then we learned the term OLAM, online analytical mining, which combines analytical processing and data mining. That's all for today. Thank you.